Okay, so there's a lot of people in this spread, a lot of court cards. What I'm sensing first is there is a situation that requires you to take a step back, okay? With the Nine of Wands, in this situation, it's best for you to take a step back to gain a little bit more objectivity before you can move forward with whatever endeavor that you've set your heart on. So this is a moment of repose, and I feel that, all of March, it's definitely a time for you to take a step back and not act on anything. Don't make any decisions for this month, just because like people are all over the place. And I guess, with cups too, there's something happening. This is possibly, the end of February, or something that is coming in very early on in the month of March. That is a very regrettable situation. So it's I would say it's a very bad situation that's throwing you off kilter, and it is bringing like it's stalling. Basically, it's kind of like the Tower card, but of a lesser shakeup. So the Tower is probably, one of the worst. It's a very profound shakeup of your life. This situation is similar to the Tower in that you have to like revise your strategy before you can move forward. So it's going to require you to take a step back, observe the situation, get over this, regret that has happened as a result of this, and then moving forward, possibly even, the end of the month. So things are going to be a little bit confusing and chaotic and unstable. That's what I'm sensing here. The situation itself, while it's regrettable, I feel that it's going to help you, I guess, define the path of your life a little more. Okay, so it's a bad situation, it happened, but as a result you're taking a step back, and because you have no choice, there's definitely blockages to your plans to proceed forward. In the process of taking a step back, you're going to get a clearer picture. It's basically narrowing down your options. Before you had 5, now you have 2 that you can potentially proceed with. Okay, so I see this as a good sign. It could also indicate like losing opportunities or losing things in life. Like you have a plan and you know how everything is going to play out, and you know how all the pieces will fit together, but there is like a blockage in that regards. So you have to go with like plan C and D, which are not, the top preference, or not in your top choices, but you have no choice but to proceed with those options. Okay, I feel that you're still going to have a very good outcome with those 2 options, so I wouldn't worry about them too much at this point. But I do want you to, really take the time and think about how to make the rest of the 2 options that you have left foolproof. Just because the other 3 have been knocked down, just make sure you proceed with the other 2 and really think about it to really, I guess, reinforce those choices in a way that they are completely foolproof. So it leaves room for less surprises in the future. Okay, so that's the main thing that I'm seeing here. Financially though, this month might be a little short, and what I'm sensing is that you definitely have enough. You do want more though, which is fine, and I know that you want the money, not for the money itself, but more of like a means to an end. You do want to achieve greatness, and you do think that, money is going to give you all of that. At the same time, I would say that the people around you are, pretty accepting when it comes to, like offering you support, offering you love, and things like that. For the money route, however, the people are not very receptive to the way you're making money, or they're not really receptive in which you are pursuing money, or you're holding so tightly to money that you lose track of other things. Okay, so I would definitely advise you against that. Like, don't place too much emphasis on money. I know there are like financial worries down the road, and that's giving you a little bit of anxiety because of this situation. It might have been a work situation, it might have been, partnerships, friendships, or things that are affecting your emotional stability. But at the same time, I feel that, money is greatly tied in with this endeavor. So things are looking good at the end of the month, so don't worry about this. It's a temporary like delay in the progression of your life, but it's definitely not permanent, and it serves to reinforce and really it serves for you to really redefine what it is that you really want, how you want to proceed with it, so that so that things will play out in a very stable way, that you can predict outcome, okay? Because I just feel that this shakiness in the past is not a good habit for you. So moving forward is important to, proceed with the right frame of mind, and also to direct your choices and whatever path you choose to take, to direct them in a very, I guess, in a way that it brings about fruition at the end of this month. Okay, so all the choices are basically culminating towards the end of the month, and the outcome is very, very phenomenal. So it is the World card, and it's basically, having the world at your feet, getting the outcome that you want. And it's even like in a situation, I would say it's even better than your expectations. So just roll with it, okay? It's going to be a little bit rough just because of the energies and the people that we're dealing with in this situation. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, let's see. So first part of the month, like I mentioned, financial worries, but you're pretty level-headed at this point, and you're holding tight to your resources, okay? Which is a great thing to do. And you're actually showering the people you love with a lot of affection, with a lot of like gifts and trinkets and things like that too, which is a really good thing to do. And on top of that, yeah, like you're very well received. I would say, let's see, you're definitely well received by the opposite sex, okay? Because what I'm looking at this, okay, so if I were to read this for a male Cancer, you're definitely well received by the women, okay? If I'm reading this for the women in this situation, so yeah, the male Cancers, you're definitely received well by the women in your life. They're very receptive to your charm, to your wit, and to your personality. You're very receptive. If I'm reading this for a woman, I would say that there are a lot of men in the midst. I have King of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. So 3 entities here, and this man is bringing in gifts. This man is going off in the opposite direction, but the way they're progressing, even Knight of Wands, King of Wands, the same suit. These are people that might potentially know each other, but they're leaving the picture so that this person can come in to offer you things. So in a way, it's like getting reception as a female, getting reception from the opposite sex as a man, getting a lot of, I guess, accolades, and also a lot of appreciation from the opposite sex, which is really good energy. I would say for those of you who have been dealing with a fire sign and an earth sign, so this is a range of possibilities, but what I'm sensing is the fire signs are not seeing things from your point of view, okay? So, like, again, fire and water is not like a stable mix, but I would say opposites attract as well. But in the process of getting to know them, I feel that, they might be a little turned off by the way that you approach life, because it's not philosophically, it's not in line with theirs, okay? So I do see these people like leaving the picture, especially the fire. What I'm sensing in this situation is, if you are a female Pisces, you are very, very coming across as very attractive, very abundant, very desirable, okay? So, however, the people are kind of turned off by that just because they feel threatened. They're like looking the other way, and they're like leaving the picture, okay? So in that regards, this is the only person that's actually, staying around, and he might not come at his best. He might have a little bit of financial difficulties, or he might have like a little bit of baggage too, but he might not have enough to give, but he's actually still giving you everything that you want. This is an earth sign. So I feel that, in your midst, this is a man or woman, this is somebody that has very little, but whatever little they have, they're willing to share with you, okay? So they're not in the most financially stable, I guess, period in their life, but they're still willing to offer you what little they have. And that makes me, yeah, that's very soothing to the heart, I feel. That's a very generous, a very caring person. So that's the earth sign. As for the other two, I feel that in general though, there are definitely going to be still incompatibilities with the earth sign, but this earth sign is one of those people that is in it with you through thick and thin. Whereas the other two are like when the times get rough, they bounce, which is definitely not conducive for long-term commitments or marriage or anything like that. So I would say, give that earth sign a chance because he has very little, but he's still giving it your like he's still helping you out with it. Okay, and then in the process, I feel that it is also important for you to gauge the people around you because I feel, in general, you do have a lot of abundance. You do have enough, okay? It's important to give out to others because they are not fortunate as you are as well. So just keep that in mind. Put things into perspective, knowing like how much you really have versus how much you really want, because I feel that you do have enough and you can progress with, whatever much you have. Other people are not as fortunate as you, so it's important as well to give back and to help them out if they need your help. All right, so keep that in mind. Okay, and additionally, what I'm sensing with the Sun card in the reverse position, let's see here. There aren't a lot of sword energy except this situation. And this is regrettably, it's a situation in which, this is in the reverse position, 5 of Swords. It indicates this is swift victory. In this case, this is a situation that you've really been hoping for and it's not playing out the way that you want. It's kind of like a defeat in a sense, but it's very swift defeat. You pick yourself up and you move on, okay? So like I said, the two cards are corroborating each other in which, this is a 5 and a 5. 5 of Cups, 5 of Swords. Um, a lot of options that you've been, riding like riding high on or putting a lot of stock in are suddenly removed from your life. You do have other options and you can proceed. And now, because those other options are gone, they're not, they weren't viable to begin with. Now they're out of your life. So you have 2 options left and you can choose to proceed with it. Either way, it's going to have a very good outcome. Okay. So it's a defeat, but it's in a way that's not crushing. So you pick yourself up, you just move on with your life, which is a really good positive energy. And I'm sensing that you might not really have a choice with the Sun in the reverse position. So it's regrettable. But towards the end of the month, you're going to come to the closure of it. And I guess the reality of it is going to hit you. And you realize, okay, that was actually a favor to me because now I know how to proceed. Because before you were inundated by too many choices and too many options. And you wanted all of those options, But now it's like those options are being knocked down one by one. You still have 2 left and you have to move on. And I feel that you will. So good outcome towards the end of the month, okay? The problem here is navigating through the rest of this month, and I would say, in general though, the energy is looking pretty good. I would only say that it's going to be a little bit of, it's going to really force you to redefine what it is that you value, okay? The Sun is all about success, it's all about happiness and completion as well. It's one of those situations in which it's like ego boosting. In this situation, when it's in the reverse position, I know this is not an easy, I'm probably downplaying it. This is not an easy card to get, like it's a card of regret. It's a card of like losing things that you've invested a lot of feelings into. So it's like putting a lot of something, a project, a person, a friendship, or something in your life that is of significant emotional value. You've invested a lot of time. You want to see it pan out, but it's not really panning out the way you want. As a result, it's kind of crushing to the ego. It's kind of like crushing to your hopes and dreams. And I say that in a really dramatic way when I don't think that it's going to be that dramatic. However, I would say that it's going to force you to reassess what it is that really you value and what it is that is still, left in your life and who it is that is still sticking around despite all of this chaos. All right? And I would say this is like the tower is not here. So I'm reading this as if it's like yes, it sucks, but we move on. Okay, so that's like the energy I'm getting, because in the process of redefining, what it is that you really want, the direction of your life and how you want to proceed with the rest of your life, you do have the world. You do have like a lot at your disposal. You do have a lot of abundance, a lot of new opportunities as well. Like the world is opening up as a result of getting rid of these bad things. Okay, so I would always say that cups are always indicative of energy that involves like emotional attachments as well. So these things are removed from your life for a good reason, so that new opportunities can come in. And the new opportunities, I feel like three of these things have to be removed and extracted, because they're blocking the flow of this one spectacular opportunity. That's the way I'm seeing it. So this is like one thing that is worth more than three things that you've lost in the past. Or this opportunity itself is so abundance that it's going to take the place of three things that you were here hanging on to for dear life because you didn't want to lose them. But this opportunity itself is like larger than life. That's what I'm sensing here, and it's going to come in. So you have to really don't take action at this month. What I'm sensing is this is going to come in the end of the month. But in the meantime, it's really important to redefine what it is that you value. It's kind of like restructuring your life in a way, rebuilding the self, rebuilding the self-image, rebuilding, I guess, since these opportunities are knocked down, it is important to rebuild like the structure around your life. Okay, because the world too, it deals with expansion, but we also have to have like a home base in order to expand. Okay, so you have to expand within a healthy framework is what I'm sensing. And with the sun here coming in the middle of the month, I know that it's going to be hard for you to invert yourself and come to this place of I guess like stability, I guess like feeling normal again, feeling normal. So it's going to take some time, but then towards the end of the month, I feel like this change will be very instrumental for you in redefining your life path and learning to expand within healthy boundaries. Okay, so this is very good energy coming in for you.